Tell me, what does that message of yours mean? Have you fallen for Su Chingsu? How can you change your heart and fall for someone else? If you don't get back together with me, I'll post all your 10,000 ugly photos online. My name is He Kong. I'm an internet celebrity and blogger. Over the past 2 years, I've also starred in some small, trending web dramas. 2 years ago, I broke up with my partner, who had been too busy to spend time with me, even though we'd been together for 5 years. Today, 2 years later, I saw her interview. Now, she's become the best actress of ZM. In an interview on SP, the host asked Liu Ryan about a trending post online. It was about that person you liked during your youth. Liu Ryan smiled faintly, a little melancholic. I was with him for 5 years and then we broke up. Honestly, I was pretty upset when we broke up. I didn't want to end it back then, but I couldn't bring myself to admit it. I even said some harsh words to him. I said things like, if we're breaking up, then let's break up, and told him not to regret it. The host, enjoying the drama, asked, so you're now the best actress. Has he regretted it? Liu Ryan couldn't force a smile. No! Later, when I got the script for the lead role in DY's series, I thought, I want him to turn on the TV and see me. I want him to know just how amazing I am. She spoke with indignation. The fans in the comments of this SP went wild. Let him know how amazing you are, and then come crawling back to beg for reconciliation, right? Alright, I know you miss him. Go wash up and sleep. You've been famous for 2 years and he still hasn't regretted it. At this, I froze for a moment. Regret? Actually, maybe just a little. But Liu Ryan really doesn't have any shame. She still wants me to regret it? Maybe in the next life. But sometimes she can be quite dignified. Back then, when I said the breakup was just in anger, she could tell. But that day, she insisted on saving face and agreed to the breakup. Now, she's regretting it. It's too late. Liu Ryan and I have known each other for 8 years. We argued and made up for 5 years in a relationship. We broke up countless times. But each time, a few hours later, we were back together. The last time was when her career was on the rise. I compromised with her so many times. She finally managed to free up a few days for vacation. I had already planned our trip for the next few days. But in the hotel in Sanya, she took a call on the balcony and then started packing. When I came out of the shower, I was in shock. What are you doing? She stood up and hugged me. There's a last-minute audition for a crew. This opportunity is really important to me. Sorry, baby. Next time, I promise. Before she could finish her promise, I cut her off. No more next times. We're breaking up, Liu Ryan. This time, the breakup is more serious than ever. I stayed up all night planning the trip. I was waiting for these few days. In the end, she poured a whole bucket of cold water on me. But honestly, after saying that, I regretted it. Maybe Liu Ryan saw the determination in my words when I said it. She fell silent for a moment and surprisingly, she agreed. Alright, if we're breaking up, then let's break up. Just don't regret it. Liu Ryan dragged her suitcase out of the room. The next day, I packed my things and went home. The trip I had planned, I didn't go, because the person I planned it with was no longer there. I tossed my phone aside, pulled my hat down to cover my whole face. Just let me sleep for a while. The assistant and buddy sitting next to me elbowed me a couple of times. The fans are urging you to get back to work. My buddy, Gu Wuyan, casually scrolled through Weibo and reminded me. I woke up a little irritated from the noise. I glared at him, tilting my head. Isn't that your problem to worrying about? Gu Wuyan met my gaze for 2 seconds, then lowered his head and fiddled with something on my phone. A few minutes later, he handed it back to me. It showed that I had just posted a new Weibo. The caption was, "Which photo should I send to my crush?" with 9 different photos in various styles. Not long after I posted it, fans started flooding the comments. DY's hubby. 333 I love puppies. I also love exotic boys. Nobody cares who the crush is? A few minutes later, the best actress, Liu Ryan, commented, "Post this one." The picture was a hideous photo taken during the time I was dating her. How ugly was it, you ask? It was bad enough to leave a stain on my reputation in the influencer world. The title of Best Actress for Liu Ruyan really holds a lot of weight. In just a few minutes, my Weibo was trending on the entertainment hot search list. Frantically, I removed Liu Ruyan from the green bubble blacklist. Are you out of your mind? Don't you get it? A decent ex should be like a ghost totally out of your life. Have you no sense of boundaries? Why keep photos of your ex after a breakup? Liu Ruyan answered without addressing the question. Who's your crush? I shouted. Liu Ruyan sure cares a lot about me, her ex. What does it have to do with you? Liu Ruyan. Is this person from the industry? It wouldn't be that singer, Su Chingsu, who just had a concert, would it? I was a bit dumbfounded. No! How does this woman know I went to Su Kingsu's concert a few days ago? Liu Ruyan. Are you spying on me? Liu Ruyan sent a meme. The text on the meme roughly said, "I will always secretly stalk you. Stalking you endlessly without a shred of daylight. Haha! It's terrifying when you think about it." Liu Ruyan wouldn't still have feelings for me, would she? Liu Ruyan. You're not jealous, are you? Liu Ruyan sent a voice message. I looked at the driver in front of me as if I were a thief. I glanced again at Gu Wuyan, who had fallen asleep beside me. Without a second thought, I opened the voice message. He Kong, tell me, who's your crush? Liu Ruyan's voice was still as gentle as ever. Realizing that I had been enchanted by Liu Ruyan's voice, I let my smile fade a little. The phone automatically played the second voice message she sent. Otherwise, I'll post the thousands of photos in my phone. One a day, okay? I couldn't smile anymore. I muttered a low curse. 2 years after our breakup, she was still the same. Not a bit changed. She knew I cared most about my image online, and she used that to threaten me. I was so pissed, but I couldn't do anything about it. Because when we were dating, she loved taking photos of me. But her photography skills were really horrible. I also spoiled my girlfriend a lot. Even if the photos she took were enough to make everyone rage, I still tolerated it and gave her all the encouragement I had. Baby, you did great. You've improved from last time. This time, it was really me shooting myself in the foot. Back then, I never imagined this day would come. Ding dong, 2 sounds. Liu Ruyan sent to more messages. Read but no reply. So I'll post them. I quickly replied to her. That was the copywriting edited by Gu Wuyan. There's no crush. Liu Ruyan. What about Su Chingsu? I couldn't take it anymore. Is it ever enough for you? She replied, forget about Su Chingsu. She has a boyfriend. Their relationship is very stable. I woke up Gu Wuyan, who was sleeping beside me, after reading this. Su Chingsu has a boyfriend? Stop chasing her. Find someone else. Su Chingsu is Gu Wuyan's idol. He's been chasing her for a year. He waited so long just for her concert. He said he had to go and begged me for a long time. I couldn't refuse. You have to spoil your son. After the breakup, your taste is this bad? Liu Ruyan's next message popped up in the chat window between her and me. I've always known Liu Ruyan's sharp tongue. Back then, I was truly a monk, putting up with her sarcastic remarks for over half a year just to win her over. After we started dating, she stopped. As expected, it's easier to change the kingdom than to change the surname. I suppressed my anger and replied, Liu Ruyan, did you lick your lips and realize you've been poisoned? Liu Ruyan, nope. Gu Wuyan saw the way I was staring at my phone and curiously asked, what's wrong? I gritted my teeth and said, Liu Ruyan is unbearable. You've been in touch with her? I knew it. You two can't break up. When are you getting back together? I shot him a glare and said angrily, "Just shut up." It's Liu Ruyan who's pissed me off completely. And now she wants to get back together? No way! Later that night, Gu Wuyan and I returned to the apartment. We lay on the sofa and binge-watched a series. Suddenly, Gu Wuyan's phone rang. My personal studio's official Weibo is managed by Gu Wuyan. Gu Wuyan glanced at his phone and then summarized, "Bro, there's a variety show looking for you." I was munching on crispy potato chips and casually asked, "What variety show?" "Love DJs." I thought for a second. I hadn't heard of that show. It must be a new one. Not doing it. Gu Wuyan hesitated and said, "But they're offering us 30 million. Well, what are we waiting for then? Let's take it." Hesitating for even a second is disrespectful to money. Love DJs exploded onto the scene. The production team picked 5 couples from the industry who had already broken up. They asked the 5 couples to act like they were deeply in love in front of the cameras. Then they let the audience guess which couple, Wei, wanted to get back together. I boarded the flight to Sanya. I glanced at the requirements the production team had sent me. In my 20+ years, I've only dated Liu Ruyan. What kind of small-time variety show is this? There's no way they could get Liu Ruyan, even if they kept asking, just to be sure. Before the plane took off, I sent a message to Liu Ruyan. "Did you join Love DJs?" Liu Ruyan replied quickly, "What's Love DJs? Are you trying to get back together with me?" I was very confused. But it's only been 2 years since we broke up. Liu Ruyan had become SE now? How does Love DJs relate to getting back together? No! I meant a variety show. Did you join it? Liu Ruyan's chat window showed typing. I patiently waited for a few minutes. Eventually, I waited until my patience disappeared. "Can I sit here?" I withdrew my stiff gaze from the phone and awkwardly looked up. I met Liu Ruyan's eyes. She waved her phone in front of me. She wasn't waving it fast, so I could clearly see that ugly photo of mine. It seems I really underestimated the background of this variety show. She really did get Liu Ruyan. It looks like this damn woman is on the same flight as me. I put on a fake smile. Of course you can. Soon, we arrived at the recording venue. The production team had mentioned in the work group that from the moment the guests stepped off the plane, SXJ had already started following them. When Liu Ruyan and I appeared in the live stream, the audience exploded. Oh my god, the live stream pushed by the main sponsor. I thought my eyes were playing tricks on me when I saw Liu Ruyan. I couldn't believe it was really her. How could Liu Ruyan come to participate in such a low-tier variety show? Did you not see He Kong, who just got trending with Liu Ruyan? He's here too. So these two really are exes? I noticed a woman standing not far away, who looked very much like Su Chengsu. Didn't they say Su Chengsu and her boyfriend had a great relationship? I tilted my head slightly, and curiously asked Liu Ruyan beside me, "Is that Su Chengsu? How did she end up in this variety show?" "Didn't you say Su Chengsu and her boyfriend have a great relationship?" Liu Ruyan squinted her eyes slightly. "Don't you really like Su Chengsu? If you don't like her, why are you paying so much attention to her?" Watching the scene, the comments on the live stream went wild again. "Isn't this Love DJs? These two don't look like they've ever broken up. Total strangers." I figured it out. Liu Ruyan came here for her ex-boyfriend. I gave her a strange look. "What's it to you whether I like Su Chengsu? Do you live by the sea?" "Ex-girlfriend." I emphasized the words ex-girlfriend, as if I were reminding her, or perhaps reminding myself, that she and I were already a thing of the past. I really don't know where He King's sense of superiority comes from. Does he really think Liu Ruyan wants to get back with him? I remember one of the guests has an ex-boyfriend who really likes Liu Ruyan. Exactly. Someone like He Kong, who's always so stubborn, will only get obedient when he sees Liu Ruyan dating someone else. Liu Sr. A lively male voice shouted, rolling his suitcase towards the spot where I was standing. Oh, not exactly where I was. He was heading straight for Liu Ruyan. I recognized this guy. It was Ito Makoto, who just finished filming a new drama with Liu Ruyan. The series was currently streaming online. The forbidden orthopedic romance between the two leads had viewers hooked. We were also very good friends. I never expected you'd be participating in such a variety show too. Tell me quietly. Who's your ex? Ito Makoto asked Liu Ruyan. Ito Makoto, long time no see. Liu Ruyan didn't seem at all offended by Ito Makoto's question. It looked like they had a very good relationship. On camera, I played it cool and greeted Ito Makoto as if we weren't familiar. Hello, Senior Ito. He Kong. I really like the short films you've done. But how did you end up here? Who's your ex? The topic was suddenly shifted by Ito Makoto to me. He leaned in close to my ear and whispered, "Do you want to get back with Liu Ruyan?" I looked at the calm woman beside me and snorted coldly. My ex is dead. How could I possibly get back together with her? Right. Senior Liu Ruyan smiled and said, "Is that so? If she really died, I'm sure even as a ghost she wouldn't let you off the hook." Ito Makoto's eyes sparkled upon hearing this. I cursed inwardly. This couple is pure hatred. All the guests had arrived at the villa. Suddenly, Ito Makoto elbowed me. "Look over there. He really likes Senior Liu. You'd better watch out for him." I followed Ito Makoto's gaze. I recognized the person too. His name was Jiboter. He often played supporting roles in Liu Ruyan's dramas. He'd been doing this since Liu Ruyan debuted. I used to argue with Liu Ruyan about him. No one can always be by someone else's side, unless they're doing it intentionally. Later, Liu Ruyan and I broke up. Jiboter had never really left Liu Ruyan's works. I didn't expect him to follow her here to this dating show. I didn't take Ito Makoto's words to heart. Why should I be wary of him? If there was something between them, they would have been together already. Ito Makoto looked at me as if I were hopeless. You can't say that. A good woman is afraid of a persistent man. If Liu Ruyan really gets taken away by someone, you'll be the one crying. Please. Liu Ruyan and I have been broken up for 2 years. It's not just 2 days. If she really couldn't get over me, she would have come back to me by now. My tone was laced with irritation. I couldn't even explain why I felt this way. Maybe it was because I had never truly let go of Liu Ruyan. All the guests had arrived. Let's begin the DY team task. The director announced. The DY task was to pair up men and women. It was a 3-legged race. We needed to reach a 10-meter endpoint in 10 seconds to get the shopping fund. Otherwise, there would be no food for dinner. Jiboter, of course, wouldn't miss this opportunity, since no one else was willing to step up. He volunteered himself. Senior Liu, would you like to team up with me? Liu Ruyan glanced at me. I quickly averted my gaze and refused to meet her eyes. Ito Makoto saw what I was doing next to me. He suddenly grabbed Liu Ruyan's arm. No! Senior Liu, you're teaming up with me. He gave me a look, as if to tell me, don't worry, my friend. I'll guard your love for you. I thought that was unnecessary. Back when Liu Ruyan and I were in school, we'd played a 2-person 3-legged race. By then, we'd been dating for 2 years. But our coordination was still embarrassingly poor. Ito Makoto, with his delicate skin, wouldn't be able to handle a fall. I'll do it, Senior Liu. I said, give me the honor. I went, no wonder she's an actress. 3 handsome guys asking her to team up. She's just too amazing. Can't you be more self-aware, Hikong? Why say give me the honor? Is Liu Ruyan his dog or something? I thought Liu Ruyan would choose either Ito Makoto or Jiboter. Their relationship seemed pretty close. Hikong was clearly irrelevant here. Liu Ruyan didn't reject me. My right foot was tied to her left foot. In that moment, it felt like we had returned to the carefree days of university. What's with that dazed look? Be careful later. Don't fall. I gazed at Liu Ruyan's face, lost in thought. Why aren't you eating again? I'm going to be out of town. Who will take care of you? I told you not to throw your clothes around. What will you do if you can't find them? You have a sensitive stomach. Eat something nutritious. Stop eating junk food all the time. At that moment, Liu Ruyan was the same as before. It felt like we were still boyfriend and girlfriend, and that our relationship hadn't changed at all. The DJs director began. Liu Ruyan and I still had no chemistry. We failed the challenge. Jibota naturally wasn't happy. I told you to let me do it. Some people shouldn't try to take on things they're not good at. Are you trying to starve us? No wonder Liu Ruyan broke up with you. The two of us had no coordination at all. Is this really an ex-couple situation? I didn't understand. It seemed like Hikong only knew how to drag everyone down. I thought they were supposed to have great teamwork. I wanted to apologize to G Boater. It was my selfishness that caused us to fail. But Liu Ruyan stepped in front of me. It's my fault. I accidentally tripped him. I looked at her back, a hint of confusion rising in my heart. Why was Liu Ruyan doing this? We've already broken up. As her ex-boyfriend, whether I get scolded or not has nothing to do with her, right? Damn! Liu Ruyan really is a great ex. Even after all this, she still defends Hikong. I just don't understand why Hikong and Liu Ruyan broke up. Looking for a girlfriend like Liu Ruyan in 2025. Liu Ruyan and I failed the challenge. But the other 3 pairs succeeded. Everyone had clear roles. 2 pairs of guests went out to shop, while the others stayed behind to cook dinner once they returned. Liu Ruyan and I were in charge of shopping. We shared a car to the nearby large supermarket. Thank you for speaking up for me just now. Liu Ruyan seemed surprised. Not today. Her words wiped away most of my lingering sadness for the day. If I don't speak up for you, who will? In my sight, only I can bully you. Anyone else, don't even think about it. I didn't know what to say. To me. Liu Ruyan's words felt like love confessions, as if they held the same weight. The silence lasted until we reached the supermarket. She got out of the car, naturally opening the door for me, then took my hand. What do you want to eat later? Before I could answer, she continued talking to herself. Maybe cola chicken wings. We should also get some all-braised shrimp. And you love the boiled pork slices. Let's just buy everything. The camera sister couldn't help but remind us. Liu, these dishes are tough for someone who hasn't practiced. Maybe we should get something simpler to cook. Liu Ruyan, still focusing on picking out shrimp, didn't look up. It's fine, I'll cook it. My gaze lingered on the hand she was holding. Picking shrimp while holding hands. This didn't seem quite right. I tried to pull my hand back slightly, but she tightened her grip. Damn it! Always holding hands, no matter what we did. Was Liu Ruyan really that easy to get? At this point, I couldn't find a single good thing about Hikong. I still don't get what Liu Ruyan saw in him. She's beautiful, wealthy, and can cook. She's basically the goddess I've always dreamed of. Liu Ruyan's attitude clearly screamed, I want to get back together. I just don't understand what Hikong is doing. Liu Ruyan, can you let go now? Liu Ruyan stopped in her tracks. She calmly grabbed a pack of hot pot base ingredients. Why should I let go? You and I are partners now. Partners have to perform, you know. She said it seriously, as if I were the petty one, the one who didn't follow the rules. How do we perform then? I'll kiss you. Liu Ruyan seemed to be thinking it over. Is that okay? If you want to kiss me, it's not impossible. I couldn't help but kick her lightly in the shin. How can she still be so shameless? Under the cameras, it's fine to eat whatever. But you can't just say anything. Besides, which ex-couple kisses after breaking up? I held it in. On the way back to the villa, my phone received a message from an unknown number. Kong, the message began. Can you stop bothering Liu Ruyan? She signed a betting agreement with the company to protect you from certain things. Now, after all this time, she's finally in a better place. She hasn't forgotten the hardships she endured. As the beneficiary of that, you can't just forget it. Is this how you repay her? The gap between you two now is more than just a little. Self-awareness is a virtue. What betting agreement? I had no idea about this. She's been working non-stop for the past 2 years. Was it because of this agreement? Why does it say she did it for me? My mind was filled with questions, but no one was here to give me answers. What I could be sure of was, the gap between me and the woman beside me was growing wider. So why that it made me feel inferior? After returning to the villa, I found out that the 2 groups of guests waiting inside had tasks too. They were love observers. And quite unfortunately, my friend Ito Makoto was one of the observers. When he saw Liu Ruyan and me return, he stepped forward, taking the shopping bags from my hands. You two look so sweet together. By the way, aren't you planning to get back together? I watched Liu Ruyan move into the kitchen, busying herself. Suddenly, that text message crossed my mind. Actually, the person was right. How could we get back together? If it were 2 years ago, I definitely want to get back together. But now, the gap between me and her was just too big. Liu Ruyan deserves someone better. Someone who isn't stuck in the past like me. Oh my god, how can you think like that? She clearly has feelings for you. I smiled faintly. Let me be honest. I've always been waiting for her to come back to me. I still can't let go of her. But if she really did come to me now, I think I'd probably back off. Liu Ruyan is too good for me. She's so good that I feel like I don't deserve her. Ito Makoto looked at me with mixed emotions, and he didn't know what to say to comfort me. After all, the problem was with me, not anything external. Jongbita came out of the kitchen with a dark face. And when he saw me talking to Ito Makoto, he threw the bowl of garlic onto the table. Some people can't even play games properly. And now, everyone is helping out. But he's slacking off. I was already feeling down, so I couldn't be bothered to talk to Jibir. I just took the garlic from his hands and started peeling it. As soon as Liu Ruyan came out of the kitchen, she saw me with my head down, peeling garlic. She snatched it from my hands. When did you ever do this kind of work? What's with the show-off? I wasn't sure if it was because Jibita was right, or because I clearly knew how big the gap between me and Liu Ruyan was. A wave of grievance suddenly surged inside me. I felt like my tears were no longer under my control. My eyes were red as I retorted. Why can't I do it? I just want to help. Liu Ruyan's gaze faltered, and she reached for a tissue to wipe my tears. Her tone was patient and gentle. Why are you crying? It's not like I won't let you help. She took my hand and led me back into the kitchen, then closed the sliding door, shutting out the curious gazes from the other guests. Why the sudden tears? Did you feel wronged? I stubbornly turned my head away. I'm not wronged by the 30 million announcement fee. But with this money, I bet it's nothing in Liu Ruyan's eyes. After all, this woman in front of me probably makes several times that just from a single TV series. Liu Ruyan was cutting slits into the chicken wings while still paying attention to my words. What's with the drama? The variety show is all funded by me. I paused while washing the vegetables. I turned awkwardly to look at her. What did you just say? Liu Ruyan set the knife down and looked at me. She said seriously. I said I invested in the variety show. 30 million is my gift to you. Otherwise, why would you be willing to come on this show? What do you mean giving money to your ex? Liu Ruyan laughed, but there was a trace of disbelief. Are you really this clueless, or are you pretending? I came here to ask for a reconciliation. Did you hear me clearly? Oh my god, this is way too romantic. Investing in a variety show just to get back together? Liu Ruyan really loves him, huh? Why is He Kong still hesitating? Just say yes already. To be honest, if I were He Kong, I'd definitely be thinking about it too. Wow, Liu Ruyan is way too strong right now. I really understand that feeling of self-doubt. But it doesn't make sense. If Liu Ruyan really liked He Kong, why didn't she ask for reconciliation earlier? Why wait until 2 years later? Maybe He Kong is hesitating because of that too. He Kong, do you want to get back together with me? In the short time it took her to finish speaking, I thought about a lot. I'm willing, but some things can't be solved with just my 3 words of willingness. Her 30 million is money I'll never make in my lifetime. After getting back together, what about Liu Ruyan's career? And that betting agreement? Would her fans accept it? Not to mention, she just won Best Actress. What if because of being in a relationship with me, she has to pay a huge breach of contract penalty? I can't ruin her, can I? Liu Ruyan, I don't want to get back together. I don't even know how I said those words. All I know is that after saying them, my heart felt like it was squeezed, hurting so much I could barely breathe. Liu Ruyan looked at me. Why? He Kong, don't tell me you've fallen for someone else. Other than that reason, I can't think of why you'd reject me. We've broken up and gotten back together so many times, but you've never rejected me before. Her expression dimmed. A trace of self-mockery flashed in her eyes. Is it because it's too late? Because I was 2 years too late, right? 2 years can change so much. So you've fallen out of love? I haven't fallen out of love. But this is the best reason to cut off this relationship. Yes, I've started liking someone else. Who? Su Chingsu. But you said you didn't like her. Liu Ruyan raised an eyebrow, insisting on getting to the bottom of it. Is it not okay if I like her now? Liu Ruyan smiled. He Kong, when you lie, your eyes can't help but avoid mine. Don't think you can trick me. I know what I want. I lowered my gaze and told Liu Ruyan some of my feelings. Liu Ruyan, I really don't want you to act so rashly. Our relationship ended 2 years ago, didn't it? 2 years ago, you gave up on getting back together with me for your career. Now, 2 years later, you've achieved success and fame. And you shouldn't be coming to me to rekindle things. I don't want 10 years from now for you to speak of today with regret and frustration, telling me about your actions. Liu Ruyan closed her eyes briefly. Are you still upset that I didn't come to find you 2 years ago? I can explain. You can explain. But I don't want to hear it, because the focus isn't on that. I fought back tears. Quickly rinsing the vegetables in the sink, I left the kitchen. I went back to the bedroom the crew had prepared for me. It wasn't until mealtime that Ito Makoto came to call me downstairs. He opened my door. Why are you crying so badly? Liu Ruyan wants to get back together, and you rejected her because of your so-called self-esteem and the contract. I nodded slightly. He came over and patted my shoulder. Why bother? If you both like each other, just be together. The contract was her choice. I shook my head. Ito Makoto, you don't understand. I've cursed so many times over these 2 years. Why didn't she come to find me to get back together? But now the truth tells me. The reason is me. She took on so much for me. And I'm still resenting her for giving up on our years of love. I've been throwing tantrums, even waiting for her to apologize. I wasn't there for her when she was struggling. Now, after breaking through, she's coming to me to get back together. Compared to all her actions, I really feel like I've done something terribly wrong. I truly don't deserve her. I cried uncontrollably. I thought back to the days when I took her off the blacklist and how I treated her. I regretted it so much. How could I treat such a good person like that? But have you thought about her feelings? Everything she did was for you. Without you, there would be no her now. I contradicted him. No! Without me, she'd still have become the person she is now. She's so amazing. She would have succeeded no matter what she did. Ito Makoto had no way of convincing me. Fine, fine. So, such a wonderful person. Are you really going to let her go? I bit my lip and poured out my feelings to him. I don't want to let go. Ito Makoto. Just thinking about her being with someone else makes me feel terrible. Ito Makoto didn't respond. He just said, well, go ahead and open the door. Through my tear-filled eyes, I looked at him, wondering what he meant. With a click, the door opened. Liu Ruyan stepped in. Ito Makoto hung up the phone right in front of me. So he had been talking to Liu Ruyan this whole time. And all the emotional stuff I said was heard by her. Ito Makoto left. The room was left with just Liu Ruyan and me. I sat there in shock, kneeling on the bed, staring at her with wide eyes. Liu Ruyan was the first to blink, not being with me, but not wanting me with someone else either. He Kong, I never noticed you were so possessive before. Earlier, you turned me down so casually, and now you're crying. Anyone else would have fallen for your act. But I know you're just being conflicted. She extended her hand towards me. Let me ask you again. Will you get back together with me? The answer I gave was my hand resting in hers. Liu Ruyan tightened her wrist slightly, and I was pulled toward her. She kissed the corner of my lips. As the kiss ended, my stomach unexpectedly growled twice. Liu Ruyan chuckled softly. Are you hungry? Do you want to go downstairs for dinner? I nodded and followed her downstairs. We sat at the dinner table. 6 pairs of eyes were all fixed on me. Liu Ruyan, you've made up with him. Who is still guessing? It's obvious this couple is getting back together. The answer is right here in front of us. Exactly. By the way, how did you two meet? The other guests asked eagerly. While Liu Ruyan peeled shrimp for me, she replied, it was a school romance. We first met in high school. I was a student council member. He was a rebellious boy. As Liu Ruyan spoke, I remembered our first encounter. She was the student council representative, tasked with catching students who skipped class or were late, and I just so happened to be one of those late students. That day, I had overslept. I had no choice but to climb a tree and jump over the school wall. By pure chance, Liu Ruyan caught me. Classmate, you're so pretty. Can you please not remember my name? But to my surprise, Liu Ruyan said, classmate, you're quite handsome. But you still climbed over the wall. The implication was that the two things weren't related at all. Not remembering your name? Not a chance. After that day, I couldn't forget her. She was the top student in the year, a teacher's favorite, a straight-laced student council member. Honestly, she was so annoying. I had to trip her up somehow. Revenge for getting my parents called in by the teachers. Gu Wuyan came up with a great plan for me. Chase her, then bring her grades down and dump her. God knows how much effort I put into chasing Liu Ruyan. At first, when I confessed, she turned me down. I still remember her exact words. I like smart guys. I could tell. She was calling me stupid. It was laughable. Could I stand that? I was determined to snatch the title of top student in the year from her, so I studied all day, every day. I thought I had lost my mind. They even wanted my parents to take me to the hospital to check if I was mentally stable. By my sophomore year, my grades had skyrocketed. I went from being ranked 200th in the year to within the top 50. Liu Ruyan. Now, you have to date me, right? I pointed at the ranking board proudly. Liu Ruyan nodded. It was as if she was acknowledging my efforts over the past year, but she didn't agree to date me. She said, keep it up. Even though she acted all tough now, I still won her over. In fact, it was she who confessed to me first, and even asked me to fill out the same university application as her. Bullet screen comments. I didn't expect Liu Ruyan to be this scheming. Damn it! She must have noticed he conned long ago. She's been stringing him along for 3 years to motivate him to study. Also, they could apply to the same university. Huh? I'm speechless, goddess of catching guys. She's got a tough mouth, though. I like smart guys, yeah, right. Kong, can you really take this? Though I'm honestly curious. Why'd you still chase Liu Ruyan after she remembered your name? You should have been avoiding her, not chasing her, right? Su Qingsu raised a question. Liu Ruyan was also curious about this. She asked me many times. But every time I dodged the question, I couldn't tell her the truth, could I? I also wanted to know. Ito Cheng looked at me with curious eyes. I nervously lowered my head. Isn't it said that relationships can lower your grades? So I thought I'd chase after her and wait for her grades to drop so I could break up with her. Ito Chung was drinking water at that moment. He accidentally sprayed it everywhere. This is hilarious. Then you realized her grades didn't drop one bit, huh? Exactly. I was so frustrated for a while. She's never failed a class, not even in college-level calculus. Seriously, that's terrifying. Su Qingsu said heavily. Liu Ruyan chuckled. So that's why you were so gloomy during that time. When I asked you what was wrong, you wouldn't tell me. And the reason was this? Under her dangerous gaze, I nodded as if willing to face death. Bullet screen comments. I'm giving a thumbs up for never failing calculus. Well, I'm just weak in comparison. Kong, remember to lock your door when you sleep tonight. Hope we don't see you tomorrow, clutching your waist. The variety show finished recording. Liu Ruyan and I's relationship skyrocketed to the trending topics. Netizens teased about our publicly funded romance. Liu Ruya. Thanks to all the guests for their support, helping me chase my husband. Ito Chung verified. Water got spilled, haha. Next time, call me for a $50 million gig. GB to verify. I'm done with playing the green tea role. Who understands? Netizens laughing in the comments, 666. They aren't even pretending anymore. Everyone's just a part of your play, ha, ha ha. The host, enjoying the drama, added. So, did he regret it when you won the Best Actress award? What's that supposed to mean? Everything on the variety show was just acting? Liu Ruyan smiled and said, Yep. To chase you, I really spent a lot of effort. I couldn't help but burst into tears. Liu Ruyan panicked. Don't cry. You don't have to be so moved. I sniffled. My money. It hurts so much. Liu Ruyan, unable to decide whether to laugh or cry, threw all her YXK in front of me. Then she hugged me. My sobs were completely muffled by her kiss. Don't cry anymore. It's all for you. I'll give it all to you. The next day, I struggled to move my exhausted waist, on the verge of tears. She really gave too much, huh?